No idea.
Good morning, welcome. There once was a fellow who worked in a factory and didn't have his own watch. So every 20 minutes he would nudge his coworkers and say, what time is it? What time is it? And how long is lunch? When does the day end? Do you have the time? Driving everybody absolutely crazy. So they decided they're going to get him a gift. They found out from his wife when his birthday is. They're going to surprise him and give him a watch. Stop bothering everybody. So they get together. They come early to the office. The lights are closed. He walks in. They surprise him, balloons, confetti, a big cake, and they present him with a gift. He opens it up and he says, a watch? I said, yeah, a watch. I don't need a watch. He says, why not? He says, because I have all you guys. Whenever I need to know what time it is, I ask you what time it is. So they said, okay, but what happens at night? At night, I have a Schaefer. Schaefer? How does that help you tell time? He says, let's say I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm wondering, is it time to get up yet? How much longer do I have to sleep? I open my window, I take out my Schaefer, and I blow as loud as I can. Once, twice. By the third time, my neighbor's window opens up, and he shouts, 2:45 in the morning, and you're blowing a Schaefer? I know what time it is. We're in a very auspicious time of the year. It's the 12th month, known as the month of Elul. And in this month, we prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah, for the new year. And there are many things that we do in halacha and in Jewish customs and traditions to get ready for that time. We say extra psalms, 3 psalms a day. We listen to the blowing of the shofar every day besides Rosh Hashanah, besides Shabbos and Erev Rosh Hashanah during this month. And we give extra charity. We check our mezuzahs and tefillin. There's many things that we do to get ready for Rosh Hashanah. Now, the month of Elul, the name Elul, is an acronym. There's 4 letters, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, which represent Ani L'Deidi V'Deidi Li, which literally means I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me, which is an expression of our feelings towards Hashem. That we are feeling a certain way to Hashem, and Hashem feels a similar way to us. And the Chassidus and in Kabbalah, it explains the concept that during the month of Elul, we are coming to our beloved, which means we're trying to get closer to Hashem. We're working on ourselves. We're praying more. We're learning more. We're improving our ways to try to be ready that when Rosh Hashanah comes, when the day of judgment comes, when we're crowning Hashem as the ultimate king, when we're accepting his sovereignty again on ourselves, we're ready, we're prepared. We have spiritually grown. And we're coming to Hashem. Hashem's response, his v'doidi li, his expression of love to us, that is on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the 10 days of Tshuva, which start off the new year. So essentially, Elul, the first month, the last month of the year, is about our heart in going to Hashem, our coming forth, our trying to get closer. And the response is after Rosh Hashanah, starting with Rosh Hashanah, where Hashem comes to us. If that's the case, then why is Rosh Hashanah, why is Elul an acronym for I'm to my beloved, my beloved is to me? My beloved is not to me in Elul. Hashem is not expressing his love to us. We're expressing our love to him. And Rosh Hashanah is when he comes down, when he gives us new energies for the new year, when he blesses us, when he decides what's going to happen in the coming year. All that takes place in the second part, which is Rosh Hashanah and on. But the month of Elul, where we focus on our part, we call it Ani L'Deidi V'Deidi Li, he comes to us. Where do you find that he comes to us? So in order to understand this, and in general to get a deeper understanding of what is this month of Elul, and what does it represent, and how we're supposed to behave in this month and understand the attitude of this whole situation taking place, we have to look at a certain mashal, an analogy, which is brought in Chassidus. There once was a king. Now, it's hard for us to imagine how kings are. We heard about it, but to really experience the awesomeness of a king or of a czar and his ultimate power and the fear that people had from him is difficult. But in Chassidus, in many places, we have analogies about kings. So the analogy is about a king that before he comes to a city, the people from the city, the inhabitants, the residents, they come out to greet him in the field, in the outskirts. And they go to see him, and the king greets everyone with a pleasant face. He smiles to them. He's happy to see them. Now contrast this with a time when the king is in the field, when the king is in his palace. You can't go to the palace. It's a regular guy. I want to talk to the king. You can't. You need to have a special appointment. You can't even get the appointment unless you have real connections, real, status. You're a minister and you know the right people, and they put you in some kind of waiting list. Maybe you can come see the king. A regular person who just wants to go see the king, you can't go. But in the month of Elul, in the analogy, before the king comes to a city, he's in the field. And anyone that wants to come talk to him, he's happy to see them. You don't need to have a special invitation, and you don't need to be a special person. Anyone can go and talk to him. And he talks to you. So if someone had a request to the king, if somebody wanted to gain something or permission or help or whatever it may be, that was the time to go. You go during the month. You go when he's in the field. You come to the king. You ask him. And he's there. Imagine someone, I don't want to use this analogy, but maybe a politician on the campaign trail. All of a sudden, he's friendly and nice. Anyone that wants could talk to him. He's a commoner, if you will. So obviously, this is not a trick, and it's genuine, and the king is real, and he's available, and he wants to help, and so on and so forth. But the idea, the concept here is that during this month, the king is available.
So how come
But what happens, when the king goes into his palace, all of a sudden the door shuts. And now you can't just walk in. You have to have access. And it's not easy to get access. Only if you're an insider can you come in. So during the month of Elul, the analogy is that the king is available. Anyone that wants to come and talk to Hashem, you could talk to Hashem always, but he's much more accessible, much more available. You don't have to be a great person with tremendous spiritual stature. You don't have to have someone that is clean from any types of misdeeds and sins. He's at a level that he can just come, anyone that wants to go talk to him. And he greets us, and he accepts us, and he's happy to see us. And then, when it comes to Rosh Hashanah, and he's on his throne, and there's an awesome feeling, and there's Yom Kippur where it's fasting, it's a very, very spiritual time, then we come to the king, and we're not an outsider, because we prepared for this. We're one of his. We met him before. We spent a month preparing for this. That's what it says, that during the month of Elul, there is a special revelation of Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, the 13 attributes of mercy, compassion. You see, when the Jewish people sinned with the golden calf, Moshe went to ask Hashem to forgive us. And it wasn't easy. But Hashem told him that there's something that you could say. There's a code word, more than one word. But if you say the 13 attributes of faith, compassion, of mercy, you pray to me and ask in this way, I will answer you. It's a level of Hashem, of revelation of Hashem, a level of expression of Hashem's energy, which is so strong, it's so compassionate, it's greater than any other type of things that a person did or didn't do. And therefore, the Shulchan Aruch tells us that if someone has a medical procedure that they need to do, if they're able to do it in the month of Elul, that's the time to do it. Because Hashem is kinder. There's more mercy, more compassion. I want to take a moment and understand what is mercy. What does it mean? What does compassion mean? You have deserving. When someone deserves something, okay, you earned it, you get it. You don't deserve it, you don't get it. whether it's in the positive way or in the negative way. If someone did something wrong, there's a punishment which, God forbid, is due to them. They deserved it. It's a consequence. You did something good, you get rewarded, you get paid. What happens if a person comes and he's asking for something that he doesn't deserve? He has a medical procedure, and God forbid, based on his or her actions, and they don't deserve that it should go so well. So if Hashem is being just and looking and saying what's right and what's wrong and what did you deserve and what did you earn, they may not get it. Or it's risky if they'll get it. But if Hashem is using mercy, mercy means even if you don't deserve it, I'm giving it to you anyways. Because I am compassionate. Okay? Someone comes to anyone that has authority and asks for a favor. There's certain rules when you deserve it, when you get it. But if he's compassionate, he give it to you even if you're not deserving. During this month, Hashem's compassion is much more revealed. His mercy is much more in an open and felt way. There's even a question, why isn't the whole month like a holiday? Or why isn't the whole month like a yontif? Or Chol Hamoed? Because it's such a holy time. There's more. What makes a holiday a holiday? The fact that there's more spiritual energy in the air. It's a holier time. Elul is thought that perhaps it should be that way because it's such a spiritual time. There's so much godly energy and so much compassion of Hashem in the air. It says when it comes to weddings, when it comes to buying a house, Elul is a very good month. It also says regarding a court case, if a person has a court case of some sort, Hashem will help you in a much better way, easier way, greater way, whether you deserve it or not during the month of Elul. So the focus of Elul is our part to Hashem, but Hashem is also coming to us. Now, he's primarily coming to us for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. However, this idea of the king in the field is that he's available for us to come to him, and once we come to him, he helps us. Now, what's the motivating drive for a person to go to the field? If you don't care about the king, if you don't care what he has to do or say, and you're not someone that listens to him, why should he go to the field? So Chassidus tells us that there's a little bit of a inspiration that a person gets in this month. It's not like Yom Kippur, where when you come to Shul on Yom Kippur, you're so inspired, and every Yid wants to do the right thing, and they make out these good resolutions, and they decide for the future, for the coming year to be good, and so on. It's more than that. In Elul, you have a little nudge from Hashem to do your own part. You're not going to feel like you feel on Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah, wow, it's Rosh Hashanah, let's go and do something. You're not going to feel that. It's Elul, it's a weekday. But you're going to have somewhat of an inspiration, somewhat of a drive where a person says, I want to go and do the right thing because it's Elul. So there's two ways to look at it. You have a level of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur where, by definition, the neshama of a person is awakened and a person is inspired and he wants to do the right thing. Elul, we don't have that because Elul's focus is not that someone inspired you, blew you away, and you decided you want to learn and daven. Rather, you came on your own and you said, I want to be different. And it's much more effective and much more lasting when it comes from you. Here's how it works. When a person gets inspired automatically, it's Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur, and you feel something in the air because it is there. And you decide this year you're going to daven and learn and do mitzvahs and everything is going to be great. And you're sincere. But what's causing you to do it? It's an inspiration that's outside of yourself, and it came easily. You felt it. You're in the mode. It's Yom Kippur, of course. Day of judgment. The next day, or even that night, it wears off. There's a famous story about the son of a Rebbe who asked his Rebbe, what now? Mitzvah Yom Kippur, what's the Avodah now? We did El, we did Rosh Hashanah, we did Aseret Shemit, what now? And he said, now you got to do tshuva. What do you mean? We just finished Yom Kippur. Because in Yom Kippur, you feel it naturally. Now, when you feel it naturally, the moment that feeling is gone, you run the risk of losing the whole thing. Because it came automatically. It didn't come through your effort. It came easy come, easy go. But if you're going to go and put in your own effort and try to make a change, not because you feel inspired and the day tells you you have to and everyone's doing it, and somehow you're blown into it. You're pushed. It feels natural. But you say, it's Elul. It's not a Yontif, and it's not Yom Kippur. It's a time of introspection. I want to make changes in my life. And it's going to be hard to make those changes because you're not going to feel that inspiration. You're going to feel a little bit of a drop. It says, oh, it's Elul. But beyond that, you're going to have to put in effort. When you put in effort, that's when it lasts. When you put in effort, it doesn't easily wear off. Of course, you have to constantly work on it. Of course, you constantly have to do. But it takes, once a person invests from themselves to make it happen, to make it work, it lasts longer. So in Elul, our main focus is that we love Hashem. We're coming to Hashem, showing him that we love you, and therefore we want to do more of what you say. We want to do it not because we're scared, but because we love, because we want to be closer. We're pulling ourselves towards Hashem on our own initiative. Rosh Hashanah, Hashem is coming to us and showering us. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, New Year, new energies, Day of Judgment, what's going to be? Yeah, you're propelled to do it. And therefore, after Rosh Hashanah, it could wear off. This is why Elul has the acronym of Ani L'Deidi, Am to my beloved, and beloved is to me. Really, it's all about Am to my beloved. Beloved to me, Hashem's showering us or igniting us, that's already the next month. But at the same time, even when you want to do your own work, your own effort, from your own initiative, you need to have some help from above. What's going to get the person to even care to try to work on his or her own? So in Elul, as much as we stress and emphasize that it's our efforts, and that's the whole purpose, is Avedas Ha'adam, the person is working, trying to grow and make changes. We recognize that Hashem is giving us that push. Because if Hashem is not going to inspire you to inspire yourself, you wouldn't even do it. So it's a unique blend of we're doing our own service, our own effort, but Hashem is getting us there. Hashem is getting us to do that. He's pushing us there. This is why the month of Elul is called Chodesh HaCheshbon, the month of accounting. Okay? During the year, when a person serves Hashem, when you go about your daily life, we're not encouraged to constantly evaluate ourselves. How am I doing? Where am I up to? Am I growing? Am I going forward? Am I going backwards? We're not encouraged to do that on a regular basis. Yes, Krishma Shalom Mita, before a person goes to sleep at night, he's supposed to take stock of his day. How was my day? What could I improve? What should I do more of? And it's on a very basic level. During the day, for sure, you're not supposed to start thinking about where you are and how you're doing and are you good enough or not good enough. And then once a week, before Shabbos, Thursday night, a person lanes Krishma. Before he goes to sleep, he says the Shema. And it also sees, in a basic way, how was his week. But it's basic. And the end of the month, before Rosh Chodesh, a person thinks how the prior month was. But the main time when a person says, I am looking at my year, I'm looking at my life, I'm taking stock, what is good and has to be increased, what's bad and has to be eradicated, that's during this month of Elul. And during this month, a person literally goes through and looks, how are his mitzvahs, how is his learning, how is his davening, how is his relationships, how is his Yiras Shamayim, how is his love for Hashem, all these things, looks at it or she looks at it and says, okay, I want to change this year. I want to change that. But the key here is that we're not inspired to do it. We're doing it on our own. We want to do it. And when you show Hashem that you want to do your part, He shines back to us. There's the concept that the heart of a person is like the face of a person to water. When you look at water clean water, you see a reflection of yourself in the water. Okay? It's a mirror. Hearts of people work the same way. When you have a feeling towards somebody, that heart mirrors to their heart and mirrors back, and the feelings become mutual. In our relationship to Hashem, it's a similar way. When we look and try to get closer to Hashem, when we express our feelings of ava, of love to Hashem, Hashem expresses his feelings to us. So anytime we take a step forward and we work on ourselves, we invest to try to become better, Hashem comes forth to us and makes it easier. He inspires us. He helps us. The Gemara says, "Pischuli ki pischei shel machat." Open up for me like the hole of a needle, and I will open up for you like the entranceway to a palace. All you have to do is your part, a little bit. How big is the hole of a needle? It's tiny. You put in your hole, you drop, you open up that opening, you do your part, and Hashem opens up like opens up for you like the entrance to a palace where it's easy. You go in, you don't have to push yourself through. You want to do it, it's nice, it's welcoming, and so on and so forth. Hashem should help that as we do this effort of Elul, we get ready for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we look at our past year and we try to improve, it should be in a successful way. And as the Rebbe stresses many times, with simcha, with joy. A person should do this avodah happily, recognizing that he has the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to change. It may be in a happy way and an exciting way. Thank you for joining. Subscribe to the channel, share it. Have a great day.